Welcome to another Sengoku Jidai battle. In this match against Gifalris, a Fog 2 veteran, I have the Tokugawa 1573 against his Ikko-Ikki 1555. So these guys are basically a mix of peasant rebels, monks, and samurai banded together to take down the capitalist machine or something. I don't really know, obviously. And I'm using the Tokugawa army, so a conventional samurai army. As match host, I deploy on the bottom half of the map. Nice hill, some good open country. Forests are not so good for my army, good cover for the peasants, but at least they're downhill. One thing, the Ikko-Ikki do not have any cavalry, so I don't have to worry about getting spears. And heavy weapon might be the way to go to pad out the length of my line with some of these cheap raw units and unarmored units. Armor is a waste of points after all. Okay. Now I should get some cavalry because it's very difficult for them to counter without spears of their own. They're all using matchlocks, bows, and naginata, which are classed as heavy weapon, which gets no POA against cavalry on impact. Next up, yeah, the armor is kind of a waste, but I want the superior quality. I could get the swordsmen. They don't have an impact POA. Yeah, it's a question, do I want to spend too much on swordsmen or armored spearmen? I think, well, the swordsman could operate in the forest too, but I think I'd rather get the spears. I do want to be able to shoot back, so I'll grab, well, maybe bows, because most of them aren't wearing any armor. I'll even grab a spendy unit of Yumizamurai, which I don't normally get. 50 points remaining. I should probably just pad out the line some. With what, though? Don't like this. We're going to be outnumbered no matter what. These are cheap because they're small units. They're at negative combat strength modifier before they even take any casualties, and they disrupt pretty easily to missile fire. So I'm thinking no to those guys. You'll just get 2 units of raw spearmen. They can fight peasants, right? Okay, originally I was going to pile the infantry here and leave some cavalry here and push out into sort of right hook, but I decided that 1, that could lead to a boring standoff, but 2, if I push too far along this narrow edge, things could just get downright dangerous. So in the end, I adopted a more conventional linear deployment with some infantry in reserve, cavalry ready to charge. Bringing spears to a gunfight? Yeah, I guess. Some. It can be a spear fight, though, if I stay here. Yeah, I'm hoping he will pop out. It looks like there aren't too many archers. 1 here, 1 here, probably 1 more. Push it and extend the line. Here we go. Occupy that and reinforce the wing. We're just going to stretch out for now. Here we go. Next turn. Interesting. I hesitate to fully engage until I can figure out exactly what he's doing. I don't really want to funnel in here. I don't really want to charge here until I know what's in there. It's all very uncertain. Can spread out a little bit in the center because we have the cover provided by having a cavalry unit available. Bring more spears to the right. Keep swords facing this forest. Next turn, Jafalra says, alright, time to go study more of your Sengoku videos. I don't know, maybe this looks like it's a cunning plan or something, but I'm just kind of waffling about trying to figure out what he's doing, so I'm not sure if study is going to be that useful. What I might do though is leave the command on here, shift this cavalry unit over to the right, or maybe to the center, and shift this one over. Good. Make some room. Tempted to move here and see what I can see, but I should wait until this unit can move in tandem. Next turn. Okay, he's going for the hill, and he's coming out to fight, which means we are going to rush everyone over to this sector. Don't know what's in there. Well, it's time for you to go check it out. Nothing yet. Shift over, and we are just going to, I think, ignore that whole situation there. And if they want to fight, they can come out to fight. Otherwise, we can concentrate all our force on this. So let's see. Let's start getting ready to shift out here and shoot. Could zone me in if he moved here, but then we could blast them, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. So this infantry is raw, unfortunately. And take a volley first with the armor. That's good. Raw, average. Okay, average. Try to shift around and armored, huh? These are not armored, but they're out of my fire arc. Too bad. Loose. If we lose impact and fall back, we can then fill the gap. Okay. Next turn. A little bit of harassing fire. No big deal, we'll just avoid them until they come out into the open proper. We should be disrupted, is too bad, but alright, so we need to rush everyone here over here. And get a volley off. And another. Good, they're disrupted. And that's rough ground as well. Why is this so bad? Troop quality plus general. That's why. Okay. Well, do it anyway. That's rough ground there. Take a risk. Good. Loose. I need my cavalry to be able to do that. Yes. Bounce, but we can do it again next turn. See what's in there. Nothing. Good. That case. Follow up. It's going to get a bit dodgy until we can turn everyone around. can only hope this impact charge eventually breaks through before we cave with all of our poor quality troops here. Javaris is starting to see some downsides to this army. You know, I would say that it's a pretty even match and it depends heavily on terrain. I think. So, yeah, the vulnerability to cavalry is a big downside. The upside is that almost all of its men are armed with units that or weapons that ignore armor, and all these samurai armies are paying for armor for the vast majority of their men. So that's a pretty big benefit. Frag, good. We'll need that. We'll need that rally. Okay, circle around behind. Then we'll need to... what? If we move here, can we then turn? I don't know if we can. Nope. Oh well. Try for the cavalry impact again. Negative. Stand your ground on the hill. What now? Prepare to push in. I think stay here and accept that we might lose these samurai archers. Then what? Turn. We can't charge here, so we need to keep withdrawing towards reinforcements, unfortunately. Good. Now turn and turn. So that gives us what? 6 units to fight 6 units? Great. The rest can keep moving. Fire. And which way should the cavalry go? This way or this way? If we move here, we can threaten to flank if they move up. Hopefully there isn't something lurking right there. Well, too bad if there is. Go figure. More. Well, we're just going to have to accept getting shot up a bit so we can get this flank off. Yeah, I think the great advantage, other than armor piercing of the Ikko-Ikki army, is sheer ridiculous numbers. These units are, the peasant units are very cheap. They can still flank and inflict casualties by shooting. So this can go either way. Next turn. Frag. Good. Flank threat. And we fall back. Frag, fall back. Oh, that could be worse. That is worse. Expose a flank there. That's good. Good. Impact went okay. No breaks for either side. Steady, huh? Okay. Well, first, why don't we break this unit, which means accepting, I was going to say the risk of pursuing them wherever they fled, but they didn't flee, so it's a moot point. What about this flank? Good? Might pursue into these guys during the next phase. I could fire or charge. I should probably just charge. Good. Again. Good. And this is uphill, is it? Yeah, they're uphill, but whatever. The main point is to get them disrupted so our archers can be at an advantage. Then what? Can stay here, but they'll probably just break our frag unit with the peasants and then turn these armored Ikko-Ikki warriors around anyway. So we'll threaten another flank. Then what? Yeah, this is not good. Don't know if I want to engage or accept that I cannot win any engagement near this forest. I think that might in fact be the case. So we'll want to cut our losses by exposing our flank and just being okay with the bad thing. And you run away. Okay, this unit, stay here. Good. Swordsmen. Be ready to move in pursuit here. Same with these two units of Yari-Ashigaru. Try to join the fight here, but not here because we really cannot fight that with what we have. So for starters, flank, route, disruption because they're raw. So we hopefully pursue into them. Yep. Good. Then what? That's pretty good. We'll turn, charge. It's even for now. We'll start losing due to the numbers disparity, but hopefully we won't have to put up with the bad things for long. Wheel about, and loose. Could be better. Could be a lot worse. Jafalra says, this will be a quick one. 25-0. That's very promising, but this forest situation, well, that remains dangerous. Good. And another break. Do we follow up into the cavalry? We'll see. Yes. A break. We follow up? Not quite. And a large unit of ours breaks there. Even things out a little bit. Yeah, that's not the best. Okay, so as expected, we get routed, but he's in the open now, so we might have a chance to do something with the cavalry. Oh, that's really too bad. Yeah, so we lost 10% from the rout of a single large unit. They frag and fall back, unfortunately. Okay, so let's see. I could charge these archers. I'll have to take a volley first. I'd say that it's worth it. Oh, they disrupt, which is nice, but they fall back, which is not as nice. Push forward then. We're threatening a flank here. Let's charge back into contact. And loose. Nope. Disrupted, so maybe we should sit around and wait and see if we rally up. Well, that's one end of the field. What about this side? Okay. Let's move. That frees us up to, admittedly with matchlock men, but you know what, it's good enough. Go for the break. And yeah, this is pretty ugly. How's the charge? Pretty damned good. Let's hope it leads to a disruption. Frag, even better. Now move into a flanking position with this unit of Sohei. Bring up our own matchlock men. Hold firm. Swordsman. Impact is bad because these are swordsmen, so there is no impact. And we're down 50 for quality because they're superior. But then 25 for uphill. Once the melee begins, we have swordsmen and uphill. They do get overlappers, so basically large unit in melee against swordsman, heavy weapon, or no capability troops. Plus 15 POA. Hold the impact, that's what matters. This also means that we can cover our fragged Yari-Ashikaru with their Yumi Samurai to get out of the direct line of shooting. Great. Then what? Shove them along so we can just clear the field here. And hopefully regain some control shortly. Archers can start helping to engage here. Yari-Ashigaru can fight these two units. They're not going to be any use in the forest whatsoever. Okay, so two separate battles. Next turn. Oh, surprising. Any checks? Disruption. And a pursuit into them, maybe? Doesn't look like it. We'll find out momentarily. Nope. They're moving away. That's actually fine. This is a pretty spendy unit. Oop. That's a very unfortunate place to end up. Charging the disrupted unit. Hopefully we will rally up. Ouch. Ouch. Fragging to peasants. How shameful. Good. So we're up 125 POA, but we're already suffering from combat strength modifier deficit as we are under our 480 men, and obviously these peasants are well above 480 men. Let's go for break. Interesting. Charge, so we don't get flanked or anything. And a break. Very good. Let's fire. Good. Disruption. How terrible is this? We're uphill and generaled up, so even though we're severely disordered, it's not completely awful. Prepare to engage these archers with our medium foot. Well, warriors, I suppose, but for disordering purposes, medium foot. Wheel, get a flank off. Good. Then prep a flank against either this unit or this unit, and a flank against this unit, which I should have shot first, but not a huge deal. Let's pursue a bit, just to gain the crest of the hill, and then we'll have a staring contest if needed. But I don't think it will be needed. That should be the end state of the match. Okay, and we've reached the end game. So Jafar says, yeah, right, a very interesting, different game. Need to do a lot more forest camping with these monks and peasants. Yeah, sometimes playing the Ikki, it's sort of like island hopping. You move from forest to forest. It also kind of depends on which troops you're talking about. The various warrior monk type units are mostly superior, and many of them are armored, so I think they can operate in the open pretty effectively. The peasants are kind of squishy, but they are very cheap, so I like to use the peasants especially in forest, because with their large unit size and anyone fighting in a forest being disordered, they can actually do disproportionately well for their extremely low cost. Now, if Jafaris had just camped in the trees, I would have had to take some time to rearrange my lines, and maybe, if he was camping here and here, build a wall of spearmen and cavalry to just hold here and push all my swordsmen, heavy weapon troops, and missile troops here and hit one bunch at a time. Trying to stuff your entire army into a little forest like this, you would get surrounded and the chain breaks would pile up, even if I didn't quite have the right army count for fighting that kind of environment. So the Ikki can be a strong army, but it's also brittle. Now, in terms of this match specifically, as usual, this rout percent does not tell the full story. I was doing quite badly on the right wing, and I only recovered it because I had one unit of Yari Yashigaru in the right place at the right time to get those flank attacks off. But I think mainly this battle was, weirdly enough, won in the peripheral battle off to the left wing, which is sadly obscured here. And that was sort of decisively turned around by a single flank charge by Ashigaru had hiding in this forest. And that's just Jafaris not quite used to the Sengoku Jidai mechanics, where warriors can move 3 squares straight or 2 diagonally. So you can pull off an ambush from a forest and get a flank attack from outside of visual range. And of course, unlike Fog 2, a flank attack is automatic cohesion drop regardless of current melee engagement state. So because he lost track of where my unit was, I was able to get an ambush flank attack off, and the peasants being raw, they broke after contact and panicked and spread panic. So that's the downside of these, I think 12 or 20 point units. They're large, they're surprisingly resilient in forests, they can flank attack enemies themselves, but if things around them go wrong, they don't tend to stick around. But, like I said, this has been a learning match for Jafaris. I've played this game a lot, so, he should rapidly improve as he gets to grips with the subtle differences between Sengoku Jidai systems and the Fog 2 system. So, a good game, and till next time.